Okay. We'll be live now. No, I know I'm starting kind of late today, but I wanted to, I still wanted to stream today. Just a bit busy with a few things. Let me put this up here on Twitter here also. Okay. How's everyone doing? Hey guys. Hey everyone. Okay, hey guys. How are you guys doing here? Okay, let me, okay, now I will help people out too, but I'm gonna, just source a few crates here at the start right now. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's having a good weekend. Also, guys, I transferred over my, my PS4 character to PS5, so I now have my PS4 character that is over $1 billion and is rank 1,335 on PS5, but there was an incident, and basically what happened was when I transferred over my my PS4 character to PS5, it got rid of my my PS5 character, you know, the rank 226 one that I've been working on. So they got rid of that character. I don't know why. I only had one character on PS5, one character on PS4, and so I didn't think that it was gonna I didn't think it was going to get rid of that character, but that happened. But I have a video talking about that. I have a video talking about it. Well, I wanted to transfer my PS5. I wanted to transfer my PS4 character because it's you know, it's approaching the end of the year, and you know, I wanted to have him on here too, but it was just it just sucked what happened with my my other character. But you know, I wasn't even. I'll tell you something, guys. I wasn't even really pissed off about my I wasn't even really pissed off about my PS4 character, my PS5 character. I wasn't even really pissed off about it. I was more disappointed about it. Yeah, but I'll tell you this. Like, I made that PS4, like, I made that PS5 character, like, I was playing on that new character. I was playing on that new character because of, I wanted to, like, show... I still wanted to play with my PS4 friends that I played for some time, but I also wanted to show that, like, you can make a new character and you can just, you know, you can get up to all the money, get $100 million, because I had, like, you know, I had people that would come to my channel and they would, like, constantly accuse me of just dumb things, and they would say, like, you know, they'd come to my channel and they'd say to me, oh, you know, you didn't earn that $1 billion, you just had people to, you know, do sales for you, that's not true. You know, sure, I had people help me with, like, my sales, but I would always help people sell back. That's always what I did, but... So, you know, my PS4 character is on PS5 now, but my my PS5 character is gone, unfortunately. I contacted Rockstar support, I made a ticket about it, and I'm gonna message them about it. And also, one of the reasons I'll tell you guys that I wanted to it really sucks that you can't play on both PS4 and PS5 with the same character, but I'll tell you this, like, one thing that I didn't, that, you know, was, you know, getting me a bit annoyed, and so I decided to just transfer my character because of it, was, you know, I had, like, these dumb people that would, you know, come in my comment section, and they would just say, like, you know, stupid things. They would say, like, yo, you know, he doesn't transfer his PS4 character to PS5 because he can't, because his character was cheated or something like that. So I'd have, like, you know, dumb people that would, you know, make comments and accusations like that, but no, look, I'm on my PS4 character's on PS5, you know, I was able to transfer him, everything's good. But I wanted to also transfer my character to end those stupid comments. But if anything, I can always make a new character on PS4 and help people out if anybody needs help on PS4. I could always do that. Okay. out of here with this here.
Yeah, if it isn't my creepy silent friend. How can I help?
Is the cop in a civilian car right now? What?
Oh, hey.
Okay, there we
You're
go.
in trouble. Okay. I'll deal with it.
I know, I know you're right, Extreme, but it was starting to get a bit annoying. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's like, you know, the dumb comments of just people that would just, you know, people that would just say that, like, that I didn't transfer to PS5 because I can't, which is nonsense. I didn't transfer to PS5 because I wanted to play with my PS4 friends for some time, but, you know, had my PS4 character for more than half a year. And also, I didn't know when Rockstar was going to really, when they were going to, you know, cap the transfers. You know, eventually I thought they were going to do it, so I decided to, you know, do it now. Let me see here. Hey, Professional, I've been watching your channel for about a year now. I love your content, but I was wondering, how do I join your cruise session? Thank you, Pulse. Well, we don't really use the cruise much anymore. We don't. But to join my session, you'd have to have me added, though, because this is a friends-only session. What is your PSN, Pulse? Isaiah 17 said there's a bot in his comment from your Modern Warfare 2019 Part 2 playthrough trying to scam him. He mentioned it to you in your recent stream, and I don't know if you saw it. Okay, well, thank you for telling me, Eric. I'm gonna see if I can get rid of that comment right now. I can't stand these bots. Will I collect pumpkins? I'm gonna have a video talking about that. Okay, Jay, I could try to add you after the stream, too, but you felt the beginner feeling. Oh, yeah, certainly. But the point that I wanted to make with that character is I wanted to show that the reason I had that PS5 character, like a new character, like people were asking me, why are you playing on a new character? The reason I wanted to have that PS5 character was because I wanted to show that you can get up to $100 million for a new character, and you can do it, because a lot of people think you can't do it, and so I wanted to show that I have a new character, I did everything again, and I have it. Yeah, it just sucked that it overwrote, because I was gonna keep playing on the PS5 character, but, you know, I guess I'm both playing my PS4 character on PS5 now. But yeah. I don't really watch many sports, Chris, to be honest. Hey, Pro and Chat, I'm happy to support Pro for 4 years, but 1.5 of financial support. Also, F the comment section glitch. I bet it's Makarov. Well, thank you, Mr. Waifu. Yeah, so my comments on the Modern Warfare playthroughs have been getting disabled sometimes. I could, Pulse. Have you ever experienced the prison break glitch where Rashkovsky doesn't move at all? Recently, my friends have had that glitch 3 times straight. I've had to host specific standard casino heists for them. No, this is the first time that I'm hearing about it, Patrick. Yeah, this is the first time that I'm hearing about it. I have not heard about this Rashkovsky prison break glitch. Okay, I'm doing good recovering from COVID. I hope you feel better, Dominic. I don't really need help with anything. If you guys want to help somebody, help other people sell sophistry, I'll help other people sell in a moment. I'm just getting some crates on my own. I don't really need help right now, but I appreciate it.
Make the pickup and bring the...
Okay. Pro, you don't have to prove anything to them. We believe you're legit. Well, thank you, Jimmy. Yeah. And I didn't transfer my PS4 character for, like, 7 months. For 7 months I played on the PS5 character. But, you know, I was going to bring this guy over eventually. I was going to do it, and I figured, you know, the new year is approaching, and so, you know, I might as well do it now, because I don't know when Rockstar is going to... Because I think at some point Rockstar is not going to allow you to transfer anymore, and so I thought I'd do it, but... What's more annoying, bots or hearing a capitale for Red Dead Online? Bots. Bots, because no matter, like, where you go, you'll see them, though, Eric. Thank you. Well, you can join the session, Pulse, unless you have me added. This is a friend session, though. Thank you, Pulse. And I'll take care of that. I'll ban that bot comment on that Modern Warfare video in just 1 second here. What the? Oh, this glass is bulletproof. I almost a tiny bit bulletproof. Almost forgot about that. Man, this guy is being annoying. There we go. Finally, okay. Give me the stuff here. But yeah, you guys remember, like, you know, I guess I shouldn't let the comments get to me, you know, they just, but you guys remember, like, 2 years ago? Remember, like, 2 years ago, it was, like, August of 2020, when there was that apartment money glitch, right? You remember it when it happened, that NPC's doing. There's that apartment money glitch, and a ton of people were doing it, and I was telling people, I'm like, you know, don't do it, you know, it's not a good idea. And what happened was, a lot of people got reset, they got their characters reset, and right around that exact same time that happened, I took a break from GT Online, so I said, like, you know, I want to play other games, I want to do other content on my channel, and, you know, when I took that break from GT Online, I had, like, all these people just coming into, like, my videos, like my new videos, and they were just spamming the comments section, and they were saying, oh, you know, he's not playing GT Online anymore because he got wiped, he did the apartment glitch, and just all, you know, all this other stuff, even though I had been saying for months I'd been saying the reason I wasn't playing GT Online is because I was bored of it, and I wanted to do other content, but for these people it wasn't good enough, they just saw I wasn't doing GT Online, and so they assumed that I had gotten wiped, and they thought that I was lying or something like that, and so, I had to make a video, you know, talking about it. And I even, like, made the CEO name in my video. Today is, like, August, whatever, 2020, just to show that it wasn't old footage. The reason I wasn't playing GT Online was because I had gotten bored, but there was just, yeah. I guess I shouldn't let those, you know, some of those dumb comments get to me. But yeah, that's one of the reasons I ended up transferring onto PS5. I wanted to, you know, I was going to eventually bring over my PS4 character to PS5. It was a matter of time. I kept him on 7 months because I wanted to help people on PS4. I can still help people on PS4, I would just have to make a new character. But also because, you know, to finally end the stupid comments of people saying that I didn't bring over my character because I can't. So that's like... No, this is my old character from my PS4 character. So that's, you know, rank 1,335 or $1 billion on here. Hello, Professional. I'm a huge fan of your videos, especially your Watchdog playthrough. I was wondering when you're playing Watch Dogs 2 or Bad Blood. I will play those, I'll play those again. I'll start with Watch Dogs 1, and then I'll go on to Watch Dogs 2, so I'll do that. I just don't know when. But thank you, JBYT. Thank you for the super chat. And thank you, Axel. Want me to send you a cartoon clip to use for your meme in the next crazy current events video? Sure. How would you send it to me, and what kind of cartoon is it? Hey, Mitchell. Hey, Professional, I'm really enjoying your Modern Warfare 2019 videos. Were great to watch this week. Keep up the great work, your videos. I enjoy watching them. Well, thank you, Mitchell. Thanks, man. There's a bot? Okay, I'm banning the bot. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, that's why I transferred my character over. And let me, right now, let me deal with that stupid bot. So you were telling me, Eric, you were telling me Modern Warfare 2? Part 2, right? You said there's a bot in the comments section. Let me ban that bot right now. Part 2. Okay, let me look at the comments on Part 2 video. Watch Dogs 2 unplayable, then puzzles drive me crazy. I didn't play Watch Dogs 2, so I gotta... I'll have an interesting time playing it again, but let me see here. Okay. Where was the comment? Oh, I see it. It's under Isaiah's comment, replying to Isaiah. Okay, here it is. Okay. Okay, I'm banning the bot from my... Yeah, there's a bot posting on my Modern Warfare videos. Okay, the bot is banned. Okay, thank you for telling me. Okay, okay, and now I just got to... Okay, do I follow you on Twitter, Axel? Thank you for the super chat, man. Hey, how are you? I'm good, man. How are you? Do you play any games off camera? Oh, I play a lot of different games off camera. Skyrim, Modern Warfare. The Saints Row review is coming. I promise, Nico. I promise it's coming. I have not forgotten about that. I will make a review about that. I give you my word on that. It's just. I'm sorry it's been delayed just so much. Like the playthroughs have, you know, the playthroughs and the lore videos have just taken up so much of my time lately. There is 2 lore videos that I'm actually editing right now, and one lore video is like 90% done. I think it might even be up tomorrow or the next day. I'm not going to invite anyone to my MC, though, right now, because I don't need help of anything. I appreciate it, but I don't really need help of anything. If you guys want to help anybody, help somebody, help other people that need help selling in this lobby, I don't really need help of anything right now. I'm just going to source the three more of my warehouses, and then after I just do 3 more source missions, I'm just going to dedicate the rest of the stream just to helping people sell. So that's,
The good...
No, I didn't see the new cosmetics on the Saints Row reboot. What do you think the worst thing that Rockstar has ever done? The worst thing Rockstar has ever done? Man, a lot of things. GTA Definitive Edition, abandonment of Red Dead Online, Leslie Benzies leaving, terrible servers on GTA Online and Red Dead Online, terrible customer support. You know, there's a list of things. GTA Plus, yep, GTA Plus is one. I could actually do a video of that, top 5 worst things Rockstar has ever done. I would say, you know what I would say? I would say probably, hope you're doing well, Pro. Thank you, Mitchell. And thank you, the nicest person in the universe. Thank you for the super chats, guys. Now, okay, I thought about it. What's the worst thing that Rockstar has ever done? What I would say, the worst thing that Rockstar has ever done is, abandonment of Red Dead Online. I would say so. There's a lot of really scummy things they've done. But I would say the worst thing is the abandonment of Red Dead Online. GTA Plus, I would say, is second or almost tied. It's almost tied to abandoning Red Dead Online. And the reason, hear me out, the reason that I think abandoning Red Dead Online is the worst thing that Rockstar has done is because it doesn't matter if you play Red Dead Online or not. It's about the fact that you had an entire community of people playing the game, a loyal, dedicated fan base that was playing the game, wanted support on the game, have messaged you so much on the feedback page, given you so many ideas on the feedback page, started up a hashtag trying to get you to communicate with them, for Rockstar to ignore them for over a year, and then after a year to finally just say, you know, we're not releasing any more major updates, and not even give the Red Dead Online players one final update. Not even to give them one final update. That's, yeah, I would say abandoning Red Dead Online is the worst thing that Rockstar has ever done, yeah. Because basically, they betrayed an entire community of people. They did. And, you know, and I find it ridiculous how some people say, no, they didn't betray the Red Dead community. They did. They made promises. They promised for content. They didn't keep that promise. And they just abandoned the game. No communication, nothing. That was just it. I would say yes, abandonment of Red Dead Online is the worst thing they've done. GTA Plus is second. But yeah. Why do people hate GTA Plus? Because it's unnecessary. It's just stupid. It's dumb. They're adding a subscription feature to a game that's, you know, over, you know, what, 9 years old at this point. Why does a game that's 9 years old need a subscription feature? You know, why? Pro, can you make an updated video on how to make money solo for cargo and nightclub? Possibly I could do something like that, nicest person. Thank you for the super chat, but I do have another guide coming out, a money guide, a big one coming out. It's mostly going to be a solo guide, but you are going to need a few people at the end, and I think that guide will help people out a lot. But look, what I'll say about Red Dead Online is that literally Rockstar or locking diamonds in GTA Plus an example. Oh, I agree. But look, I'll say this is that Rockstar, like, even if Red Dead Online was completely unprofitable, even if Red Dead Online they weren't going to make any kind of money from it, don't tell me, literally, don't tell me that they couldn't have released one final DLC for the fans. Don't tell me that they couldn't have done that. That they couldn't have just released one final DLC for the fans, one big final DLC, at least end the Jessica Leclerc storyline, at least end that. Like, you know, one final DLC Red Dead Online, give players what they want, maybe like a house update where players can buy houses. You know, give them one final update, a few new guns, end the Leclerc storyline, something to end Red Dead Online. Like, you know, something. Thank the players for playing Red Dead Online and give them one final update. But Rockstar can't even do that. Instead, they just say no more major updates and just release 3 Telegram missions. And, you know, for when I see some of these GTA players say, oh, you Red Dead players, you guys got content, you guys got Telegram missions. That's not content. Telegram missions are like the Red Dead Online equivalent of contact missions. That's pretty much what they are. So it's like, imagine if like, if Rockstar did a DLC, and they said, okay, we're giving you guys 3 contact missions for a DLC. People would freak out. So it's not comparable.
Hey, sure.
I just started to play, and GTA Plus helps me a lot, but that's because you're a new player. That's why that's why it could benefit you, possibly, because you're a new player, but you don't need that. You don't need GTA Plus. Watch my solo money guides. I have plenty of beginner money guides on the channel. They're old, but they're still relevant today. You don't need that. Who's the worst GTA character of all time? Thank you, Soprano. You mean the most evil, like, GTA character? Is that what you're talking about? The most evil GTA character, I would say, is Dimitri in GTA 4, definitely. Dimitri. Tenpenny comes close to him, but I would say it's ultimately Dimitri, yeah. Dimitri is the worst one. The reason I think Dimitri is just, you know, so bad is because Dimitri's a psychopath who pretends to be your friend, sees everybody as a tool, and then gets rid of people when he doesn't need them. Like, you know, he's just evil. There's just nothing else there. Oh yeah, you know, I think that the last update on GTA was definitely a good update. Who's a better protagonist, Aiden, Watch Dogs, or CJ from GTA San Andreas? I mean, I like both of them. I don't really want to compare. I think Aiden was an underrated protagonist. Like, CJ is universally, like, loved. Like, pretty much everybody loves CJ. But, Aiden Pierce is more of a controversial, like, character. Like, some people say that Aiden Pierce sucks, which I don't know why people say Aiden Pierce sucks. I think Aiden Pierce is, like, a good character. I think he was well-designed. I think he was well-written. Aiden Pierce is, like, you know... Aiden Pierce, if I was to compare him to anybody, when you really think about it, Aiden Pierce is pretty much like Batman, like, when you think about it. Like, Batman never really smiles, laughs, he's very serious. Both Batman and Aiden Pierce go after criminals. Both of them are vigilantes. The only difference between Batman and Aiden Pierce is only one difference between them, and that is that Aiden kills, Batman doesn't. That's really the only difference. But if you compare Batman and Aiden Pierce personality-wise, they're almost the same thing. They're very similar. And yet, people somehow think that Batman is cool, but Aiden Pierce isn't, which I don't understand that logic, that reasoning for that. But the thing is, though, not every single character needs to be like a character that makes dumb jokes every few minutes. Like people think if a character doesn't make them laugh, they think that character sucks. Like that's like what a lot of people think, and so that's like I don't understand that logic personally. Why people think that. And also, you gotta think about it this way, when I see these dumb comments of like, people saying Aiden Pierce isn't funny, well, he's not supposed to be funny. He's a tragic character. He lost his niece at the beginning of the game. His niece was murdered in a car crash. He blames himself for it, which to a degree it is kind of his fault. So, his niece died, his sister has been kidnapped, he's not gonna be a guy that's gonna be funny. So he's gonna, it's just, I didn't understand that. Who's the worst written GTA character? The worst written GTA character? You mean character that's like, bad writing behind it? I would say, Johnny in GTA 5. Not Johnny in GTA 4. Johnny in GTA 5. Johnny Klebitz in GTA 5. Not saying Klebitz from Lost and Damned, but him in GTA 5. So it's the same character, but what they did to him, his writing in GTA 5 was terrible. Like, what they did to him, that was just stupid. And I would say yes, that was the worst, written character. Yeah, I still like the Rogue. I think it's a good plane. Okay, guys, I'm just gonna do 2 more, just resupplies, and when I'm done with this one counts the resupply, so 1 more mission after this, and then I'll help people. You don't even need to throw it, you can just drop it on the ground. A lot of people don't know that. Well, I'm not personally really a fan of Fortnite, though, DC. I do follow you on Twitter. What's your Twitter name, Axel? Do you think one protagonist is better than multiple? Yeah, if that protagonist is well written, sure. But the thing is, though, is that I'll tell you this. In the next GTA game, I don't want the characters to be like the same style as like GTA 5. I don't want it to be like that. And I think it's actually a good thing that there's gonna be 2 characters in the next GTA game instead of 3, because it allows them to focus on each character more. But what I'll say is that, do you know what? I didn't like the way the 3 characters worked in GTA 5. I didn't hate the story in GTA 5. I did enjoy it, but I will say that I didn't like the way the characters worked in GTA 5. What I mean by that is, I liked the 3 character system in GTA 4, because people forget that GTA 4 had 3 characters in it too. It did. Johnny, Luis, and Nico. But the thing is, though, about them is that neither Johnny, Luis, or Nico were friends. They had like 2 or 3 missions where they met each other, but they weren't friends. They didn't associate with each other, and they each had their own stories and their own antagonists. And so I would like to see something like that in like the next GTA game, where each character has their own story and they have their own antagonist. Something like that. I don't want to see it like it's just one big story with the 3 characters connected. Okay, Axel. What if GTA Online added flashbangs? Well, Saints Row 2 had flashbangs, I remember that. Yeah, I mean, I was more disappointed about it. Specialist is, for anybody that's tuning in right now, like, if you didn't hear, like, my PS5 character is gone, like the one that I had ranked 226, and it's because I transferred over my PS4 character with $1 billion to PS5. It's been, like, 7 months, and I figured that I'd transfer over, and, I wanted to eventually transfer over. I was going to do it before the end of the year, so it was a goal of mine. But I kept my PS4 character for like 7 months, because I wanted to help people on PS4. I could still help people on PS4, I just have to make a new character. But I transferred over, my PS5 character to PS4 character to PS5, and what that did was I kept my PS4 character, but it got rid of my PS5 character, the rank 226, and I wasn't even pissed off about it. I was more disappointed because I made that character because I wanted to show people that like you can make a new character, you can grind on it, and you don't constantly need people to help you with everything to be successful in the game, but. Yeah, I did transfer my old character. Also, one thing that kind of pushed me to, and I guess people were right in the comment section. I shouldn't let some of the comments get to me. But one of the things that I wanted to one of the reasons that I wanted to transfer was because I wanted to finally end those stupid comments of people, people spreading these stupid rumors saying that I'm not transferring over because my character can't be transferred or something like that, dumb things like that. When I was very clear, the reason I didn't transfer was because I wanted to help people on PS4. But yeah, but I'm actually happy that it happened now and not not months from now, because if it's. When is the next lore video dropping? Very soon, man. Very soon. I have 2 San Andreas lore videos coming out, and I have a lore video. Do you know? Guess who I got a lore video on? I got a lore video on a very mysterious character in Liberty City, and it is going to be he's a protagonist, and it's gonna be his 21st anniversary of his game. So it's gonna be a character analysis video on a mysterious character in Liberty City. That's gonna be his 21st anniversary. That's what I'll say. Yep, people are getting it. I'm gonna have a very good video on Claude, guys. A very good video on Claude. And what I'll say about it is Claude, I would say, is the most underrated GTA protagonist. 100%. In my mind, he's the most underrated GTA protagonist. People say that Claude has no personality. Claude does have a personality. He very much does. But people think that just because Claude doesn't talk, that he has no personality. That's not true. You don't even need to talk to have a personality. You can see how Claude acts. You can see what Claude does. You can see Claude's facial expressions. He does have facial expressions. That all tells you, it kind of alludes to what he's thinking. But I'll tell you, no, Claude isn't a sociopath. Claude is a psychopath. There's a big difference. Claude is very different. He's very different than all of the other protagonists in all of the GTA games. Very different. Do you know why? You know why he's so different? It's not that he doesn't talk. That doesn't have really anything to do with it. It's his personality. It's how he goes about doing things. Claude is the only playable psychopath in the entire GTA series. Every single other GTA character that you play as, every single other protagonist is a sociopath. Every single other one is a sociopath, all of them. Not even Trevor is a psychopath. Trevor is not a psychopath, despite what people think. But Claude is. So Claude is the only playable character that is a psychopath, and it makes him very unique, but it also makes him very dangerous. And I would say that Claude 100, in my mind, Claude is the most dangerous GTA character. The most dangerous one out of all of the characters, definitely. I would say 100%. I consider him more dangerous than CJ, more dangerous than Nico, than Trevor, more dangerous than Tommy. I think I would say he's the most dangerous GTA protagonist. Now, can somebody tell me, why do you think I consider Claude the most dangerous protagonist? Can anybody guess on that? Why I consider him the most dangerous protagonist? Hey, look, I think I missed a few super chats. Hello, Pearl. How can you tell in video games if an antagonist character is pure evil, stupid, or a piece of crap? Also, great current events videos. Thank you, VHM, and thank you, Ahmed earlier. Thank you for the super chat earlier. Well, somebody can both be evil and stupid. So there's not but basically somebody that's stupid, basically they do dumb things. But if you want to know the difference, to answer your question, I think it would be better if somebody, by piece of crap you mean bad, right? So there's a big difference between bad and evil. There's a big difference between that. A lot of people think that bad and evil is the same thing when it's not. You know, both bad and evil aren't good, obviously. But the difference between bad and evil, I'm trying to think of something. Okay, here's that. Nico in GTA 4 is a bad guy. Dimitri is evil. You see that? The difference there? And the reason that Dimitri is evil is because Dimitri has no conscience whatsoever, nothing. He has no feelings, nothing towards anybody, nobody. Not towards Mikhail, not towards Nico. For Dimitri, every single person that Dimitri comes in contact with is a tool, nothing else. And so, you know, even Dimitri sending the hitman to Roman's wedding, that's just pure evil. That. So, all 3D era GTA games were released in October. Yep, you're right on that, Victor. Thank you for the super chat. He does unpredictable behavior, and he doesn't care about anyone. Yes, you guys got that right. But I would also say the reason that Claude is so dangerous, and I consider him more dangerous than any GTA protagonist, is because Claude has no limits. That's the thing about him. He has no limits, none. Claude will do anything for money. Anything. He doesn't care how wrong it is. He'll do it. He doesn't care how many murders are involved, how much chaos he causes. He doesn't care. And even Trevor has limits. People think that Trevor has no limits. Michael actually says in the story that Trevor has no limits, which that's not true. Trevor does have limits. Like, for example, Trevor would never backstab anybody. He would never backstab any of his friends. He would never do that. Trevor values loyalty a lot. Claude has no loyalty to anyone. He would backstab everyone he works with. Trevor would also would never kill Michael's kids. Never. Even if Trevor wanted Michael dead, Trevor would never ever harm Michael's kids. Never. He would never do that. And so that's the thing, is Trevor has limits. So honestly, I would feel more safe around Trevor than I would around Claude, because Claude, he doesn't care about anyone. He sees everybody as a tool, and he will betray, kill anybody he feels like killing. As long as he gets money in the end, he doesn't care. Claude definitely has very psychopathic traits to him. Like, for instance, when Claude betrays Kenji, so he betrays and kills Kenji, and the thing about that is that Claude kind of owed the Yakuza. And he owed the Yakuza because the Yakuza helped him. They did. The Yakuza helped Claude, they helped Claude flee the Leonis, so he kind of owed them. And despite them helping him flee the Leonis, he ends up betraying Kenji. So he betrayed Kenji just like that because Donald Love told him to do that. He started a war between the Colombian cartel and the Yakuza. And what happened, and he manipulated Asuka into thinking that it was the Colombians and used her for further help against the Colombian cartel. So that, and then even when Asuka died, he didn't care at all. Like, he just walked past her, he's like, whatever. And, what was it? Also, there's no proof that Claude cared about Maria at all. There's, like, zero proof that he actually cared about her. And in fact, the only reason that Claude actually brought the money to Catalina in the end, I think, it wasn't to save Maria, it was to kill Catalina, because he just wanted to get close to Catalina to kill her. That's ultimately why I think, Claude did what he did. And, you know, he probably killed Maria in the end, so... That's why I would say is, like, Claude has no limits. Yeah, GTA 3 will be an adult soon. Thank you, Victor. Nerdcore88 asked for a Trevor lore video. I could do something like that, but I got a video coming out that's gonna basically explain why Trevor doesn't kill Michael in the end, and it's gonna be a Michael and Trevor analysis in one video. So I think that'll be a video that I think he'll like a lot. Yeah, this one's a bit annoying, this mission, because all the enemies are like right next to each other. Oh, I gotta buy snacks. Yeah. Big fan. I recently watched your Liberty City Story streams. Rewatch Liberty Story streams recently, and you mentioned playing Chinatown Wars. Please do. There's no audio and cutscenes, and it's a mobile game only. But I'd love to see you play through sometime. I'll do it. How do I read your name? Semtex. Is that how I read your name? But thank you for the super chat, man. Hosea from Red Dead Redemption 2 was a bad person, but when Jack got kidnapped, he claimed children are off limits. Yeah, exactly. So that's like, you know, even some a lot of criminals also have limits. There's things that they won't do. And what I'll say is that if you want to know, you know, who's a psychopath in Red Dead Redemption 2? There is a psychopath in Red Dead Redemption 2. You know who the psychopath in Red Dead Redemption 2 is? It's Micah. Micah is the psychopath, because Micah uses everyone. He manipulates people, which psychopaths are very known for manipulation. He sees everyone as a tool. He doesn't care about anyone. He has no conscience. Psychopaths are incapable of love. Psychopaths don't even love their parents. So they're incapable of love. They have no feelings towards anybody. They only mostly times care about themselves. And so that's, you know, Claude's a psychopath, Catalina's a psychopath, Dimitri's a psychopath, Micah's a psychopath. I'm trying to think of anybody else that might fit that in a GTA or Red Dead game. But yeah, it's like, what I'll say about that is, like, a lot of times people get the definitions wrong because they oftentimes think that, like, a psychopath is, like, some, like, crazy serial killer, which they could be, but, like, there's a lot of psychopaths in games that you don't even realize that they're actually psychopaths. Oh, this is my last mission. I'm not doing any more after this. I'm just gonna help people now. So that's, Thank you, Eric. How much a guy gotta pay you to see you sing? What? Sing? I don't think I would sing, though. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, I can help now. I'm done with that. All I basically wanted to do is I just wanted to source 5 crates and get the technicians going. That's it. Anybody who wants help selling, invite me. I will help you out now, whoever needs help anything. And, I'd love a GTA 4 remaster. Oh yeah, Billy Gray was an idiot. Bonjour. Hello, Damien. Thank you, Conrad Shadow. Thank you for sponsoring the channel. Thanks, man. But, what I'll say is that, here's what I'll say is, if you want proof of how different Claude and Nico are, because Nico is oftentimes the character that's most compared to Claude because they're both hired guns. But there's a big difference between them. Oh, a little lag. There's a big difference between them. Think about that one mission in GTA 4 when you meet Jeff. Now Jeff is a random stranger, but you guys remember the mission, right? It's that creepy mission with he's like that really paranoid guy. He thinks his wife is cheating on him, and his wife actually is not cheating on him. And so Jeff, Nico has to follow Jeff's wife. You guys remember that, right? Nico has to follow Jeff's wife, and in the second mission, Jeff actually ends up killing his wife. Now, Jeff ends up killing his wife in the second mission, and then Nico actually has to dump the body. So there's a mission in GTA 4, you have to drive the Ballista compact, it's the vehicle, and you gotta drive it in the water. And, what ends up happening is the third time that you meet Jeff basically tells Nico that he thinks his new wife is cheating on him, and he wants Nico to kill his new wife. And Nico basically tells him, no, I'm not gonna do that. And the thing about that is, if Claude was in that situation, Claude would just shake his head and just do it and kill his wife. So that's you know, a big difference between Nico and Claude, is that Nico, as bad of a guy as Nico is, Nico has some limits. There's things Nico won't do. And Nico also shows remorse. He shows, you know, sadness in some of the things he does. Like, you know, Nico refuses to kill Dwayne. Like, he feels bad about killing Dwayne. If you kill Dwayne, like, if you choose to kill Dwayne, you can tell that Nico really doesn't want to do it. He doesn't like it. But Claude would just basically shake his head to Playboy and be like, okay, I'll kill Dwayne, and just go over there and kill him. So that's, that's, you know, a perfect comparison of, like, you know, limits. Like, you know, Claude has no limits, and that's what makes Claude so dangerous as a character. You're so welcome. I love the channel. Thank you, Conrad. Was Mr. Faustin right to be paranoid and crazy? Yeah, to a degree. I think he pushed it too much, Wolfgang, but, you know, the thing is, Faustin was paranoid about everyone except Dimitri. That was the one person he wasn't paranoid about, and that cost him his life. Thank you, Kevin, for the super chat. How do I join the crew? Well, we don't really use the crews much anymore, though, Kevin. I do appreciate it, though. And thank you, Dirty Sanchez, largest super chat today. Pro, did you finish Ghost Recon Wildlands story? Really enjoyed the Red Dead documentary. I've been really enjoying the content you've been doing on your channel. Do you remember El Sueño from Wildlands? He's my GT Online character. Respect. Oh, you made El Sueño? It'd be hard to do all the tattoos, though, because there's not a lot of... I personally think a lot of the tattoos in GTA suck. Like, I really wish you could do tattoos like Marrow had in like Saints Row 2. I wish you could do something like that, like on your face and stuff. But like a lot of the tattoos I don't think are that good in GTA Online. But thank you for that super chat, Sanchez. But Sanchez, go on my channel and look up Ghost Recon. I have like one big Ghost Recon video from like 3 years ago of just me playing the entire game from start to finish, like all the targets, like all of them, and then I swing you at the end. So there's like a Ghost Recon video that I made a long time ago. Check that one out. I think you would like it. Can I join? And what CEO are you joined in right now? I am in Energy Lloyd's CEO right now. Thoughts on Rockstar making people collect 209 pumpkins a day for a t-shirt without even telling you how many you got. Also have a good day. Thank you, Cryptic. I'm gonna have a video on that coming out tomorrow. I'll have a video talking about that tomorrow. Yeah. Helicopters. Okay, let me get over those helicopters then. What do I think of Lego DC Supervillains? Thank you, Jen. I think I have that game. I think I do. It's a PlayStation Plus game, right? It was a Lego game where you played as the villains. But I never really played it much, though. So I do appreciate the super chat, but I cannot really comment on that, Jen. I don't really know much about the game. I know you make like a villain character, right? You make your own custom character, and then... Have I seen Commando Arnold Schwarzenegger before? Yes. That was one of my, that was actually one of my favorite movies as a kid. I love that movie. And, about Commando is, I remember, you know, Commando, I think, heavily inspired the Cayo Perico DLC. Have you noticed that? It's kind of similar to it. Do I miss Poland? No, not really. I'm not from Poland. My parents are. I'm an American. Was Eddie from GTA 4 a psychopath? It's hard to tell, exactly. But what I'll say about Eddie is insane. He's clearly insane. He has no sense of reality. Eddie is evil. I would definitely say he's evil. But it's, I don't know about psychopath because psychopaths are born psychopaths. Like a lot of people don't know that. Like they don't know where psychopaths come from. But a lot of times psychopaths are born that way. Most psychopaths. Because I'm not a complete expert on this, but like, you know, when I was studying criminology in like you know, in college, like a long time ago, like I read up a lot about psychopaths and like, you know, did some research on them. And somebody in the comments probably knows a little bit more about this, but basically there's like one part of your brain, that basically controls empathy. It controls like, it's kind of like your conscience in a way. It controls like feelings towards other people. And basically psychopaths don't have that. So they don't have that empathy part in their brain. So they're born that way. So that's the difference. Is a sociopath can be born into a sociopath is created, basically. A sociopath is somebody that, you know, oftentimes sociopaths come from like really bad families. So if you look at a sociopath's like childhood, usually their childhood is really messed up. But a psychopath, on the other hand, they could have a really good childhood, they could have really good parents. So that's prefrontal cortex. Is that what it's called? I don't know what it is. But yeah. Some doctors, when they do an X-ray on the brain, they can actually tell who's a psychopath about that. And psychopaths can be insane, or they could be very much sane. That's the thing about them. But a lot of times psychopaths, because they lack empathy, they don't have feelings towards other people. Because of that, they oftentimes see people as tools. They see people as people that they can use. They can be heavy manipulators. And that's, was Lance a sociopath? Yeah. Lance was a sociopath, but I'm trying to think of the... Lance almost had the personality of a child when you think about it. Like, it was almost like he was a grown man in, like, a child's body in a way, sometimes I feel like it. Like, Lance was smart in some ways, but he was completely irrational in others. I'm trying to think of what was the term that I would use to describe Lance. Not all psychopaths are evil. You're right on that. You are right. You are right on that, Zui. Not all, some psychopaths can live productive lives and can, will never hurt anybody or cause people any problems. But because psychopaths lack empathy and they lack feelings towards other people because they basically have no conscience, there's a much more higher risk of them doing bad things to others and using others because of that. Man-child, that's what I was thinking of. But narcissist, narcissist, yes. Lance is a narcissist. That's what I would describe with a narcissist. Joker is a psychopath, yes. Joker is. The thing is, though, is I would say that most versions of the Joker are a psychopath. Yeah, I would say that. The Joker from 2019, I wouldn't say he's a psychopath. That I wouldn't say. I would just say he's insane. Well, he is insane in everything, but Joker in 2019 isn't a psychopath. I wouldn't say that. Joker from 2019 is just... He was like, he was just like an average guy that snapped. That's, pretty much about him. And the really scary thing about the Joker movie is that you could take out the Joker title in that whole movie, and that could just basically be like a movie about how somebody falls into insanity. That's pretty much what could be. Because a lot of the stuff that happened in that movie was not Joker's fault. Like, a lot of the bad stuff that happened to him wasn't his fault. And so people were constantly being rude to him. They weren't being nice to him. And so he just snapped. And that's, that was the effect. But about Lance, what I was saying about Lance is a narcissist. And basically what a narcissist is somebody who never thinks that they're wrong. They always think that they're right. They will, they'll never admit that they made a mistake. Like, narcissists very rarely will actually admit that they made a mistake. They will, they'll constantly blame others for something that's clearly their fault. And also, when somebody criticizes them, even when they're criticizing them to help them improve, narcissists will see that as a personal attack on themselves. That's what. So when somebody, like, if basically, like, in a narcissist's mind is, if you see a narcissist is doing something wrong and you try to help them and you say, hey, you're doing this wrong, let me show you how it's actually done, the narcissist will see that as a personal attack on themselves. And that is the perfect definition for, like, Lance in Vice City. It's both Vice City stories and Vice City. He's clearly a narcissist because when does Lance admit that he's wrong? He never admits that he's wrong. He doesn't. He always constantly blames others. He always tries to make excuses. And whenever anybody calls him out on his crap, basically, he sees it as a personal attack on himself. So whenever Vic called him out, he saw that as a personal attack on himself. And when Tommy called him out, he saw it as a personal attack on himself as well. She's not really any Mr. Waifu, but do you know what the worst narcissist that I've ever seen on TV was? Because I've seen some narcissists on TV. The worst narcissist, and this is a real person, by the way. The worst narcissist that I've ever seen is Amy and Sammy in Amy's Baking Company. Anybody who's watched Amy's Baking Company in Kitchen Nightmares, when Gordon Ramsay, that restaurant in Arizona that Gordon Ramsay went to? That was Amy and Sammy are a narcissist couple. They were very narcissistic, definitely. And they didn't know how to run that restaurant because of that. In his own words, it takes one bad day, yep. And that's why, when I was in college, my professor was a police detective. And I remember he specifically said, don't push people's buttons. He said, do not piss people off further. He said, always try to diffuse situations. Don't piss people off, because he said that when you push somebody's buttons too much, they can snap. And you don't know what the outcome of that can be. You don't know how somebody would react when they get really pissed off. So that's always try to de-escalate. But a lot of people don't know how to de-escalate, unfortunately, and push people's buttons constantly. Oh yeah, that guy, Anton is his name, right? In No Country for Old Men. Yeah, he's a psychopath, definitely. Another hitman psychopath is actually Lorne Malvo in Fargo. If anybody's ever watched Fargo, Lorne Malvo is a psychopath, clearly. Yeah, he basically, yeah, and that's what my professor said. He said that every single person on this planet is capable of killing. Every single person. What my professor once said. And he said, you know, don't push people's buttons because of that. You know, you never know how somebody's going to react. It doesn't mean that everybody's going to kill somebody. But every single person is capable of it. And so that's why you want to try to de-escalate. You don't try to push people's buttons and piss people off further. Because you never know how somebody's going to react. Even if you know that they're in the wrong. Even if you know they're in the wrong. You try to still de-escalate. You don't try to piss them off further. Oh, chatting about a bunch of different things. Do I believe in change? Thank you, Kai. You mean do I believe that people can change? Yeah, I do. I think people can definitely change. I do believe in that. Some people I can't change. Will never change. But I generally believe that most people can change. Yes. I don't think. You know, if somebody, you know, makes a mistake, I don't think that should, you know, depending on what it is, I don't think it should ruin their entire life. And there are people that, you know, do bad things when they're younger, and then they show remorse for that, and they change, and they try to be a productive person later in their lives. So I do think that, I do think people can change. Does a narcissist be born with zodiac, or if that makes sense? What are you talking about, like the symbols? Like, no, I don't, that has nothing really to do with it, no. What did I major in? Law enforcement technology. Did I see your earlier super chat? Let me see. Thank you, Alize. I'm sorry I didn't see your super chat earlier. What do I think of the GTA 6 trailer supposedly dropping October 29th because it's Vice City's 20th anniversary? I'm hoping. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. I think people are overhyping a lot of this stuff too much, personally. Thank you for that super chat, Stanky. I do YouTube mostly, but I also, you know, I do a little bit of the stock market, and I also run a rental property. Have you ever played Cyberpunk 2077 Pro? No, I haven't. Hey, Project. Yeah, I know. I don't really know what that's about. People told me it's about the serial killer, but I didn't. People keep talking about it. I don't really know much about that. Hey Pro, your videos are amazing. It helped me complete story missions in GTA 5. And if you play on 15 hours on PS4, you can get a trophy in case some people don't know that it's called A New Perspective. Oh. Okay. Thank you, Gretty. Who do I think is more evil, Mr. Krabs or Plankton, and why? Who's the worst person, Plankton or Mr. Krabs? Honestly, they're both pretty tied. I'd say probably Mr. Krabs is probably worse than Plankton. Yeah, I would say that. They're fictional characters, but I'd say Mr. Krabs is worse than Plankton. You know why? The reason I would say that is because Plankton Plankton doesn't pretend to be somebody he's not. Plankton pretty much admits... Plankton, unless he's trying to pull some kind of, like, you know, disguise or something like that, he admits who he is. You know, he doesn't shy away from that. Mr. Krabs, on the other hand, you know, pretends like he's a good person, but he's very greedy. He's very heartless. He doesn't really care about anyone. So I would say, yeah, Mr. Krabs is just, Mr. Krabs is worse than Plankton. What's wrong with Mr. Krabs? You haven't watched Spongebob the Greed? Yeah, that's what's wrong with Mr. Krabs. Mr. Krabs sold Spongebob for 69 cents to the Flying Dutchman, so that was like, that was Mr. Krabs' greediest moment. No, 62 cents, I think it was. Yeah, 62 cents, not... It was, Do I support LGBT? Of course, I think everyone deserves equal rights. Mr. Krabs is EA if he were a sea animal. Well, yeah, Mr. Krabs would probably be like EA. What would you rather rate? Agent 47, sociopath, psychopath, or just natural killer? 47 is very weird in this regard. What I would say about Agent 47 is Agent 47 is, I don't know, I guess in most aspects you would describe Agent 47 as a psychopath. Most people would, but the thing is, Agent 47 was specifically designed to not feel emotion towards other people. I don't know if he really can. He is a clone, but no, I would, you know what I would say? Yeah, well, he's a clone, but what I would say is that Agent 47, I wouldn't say that Agent 47 is really even a sociopath or a psychopath. I wouldn't say he's either one. The Saints Row review is coming, but here's what I'll say about Agent 47. Agent 47 is not as evil as people think he is. Like, people think Agent 47 is, you know, extremely evil when he's not. Agent 47, when you really think about this, doesn't really kill innocent people. He doesn't. Because you can kill innocent people when you play as him, obviously, but according to the Hitman lore, he just kills the target and that's it. He doesn't kill anybody else. So he doesn't, he won't kill, he will just kill the target, he doesn't kill anybody else. Silent Assassin is pretty much how he does it. You know, just killing the target, nobody else. And almost all the people that 47 kills, almost all of them are extremely evil. Like, almost all the targets are extremely evil. Like, I can't think of any targets that are good people that he kills. I would say he killed the journalist at the end of Hitman Blood Money and the priest, but, you know, that was like a whole group of the, what was that group called that was after Hit 47? The franchise. The franchise, that was it. So that was it. But he largely does not kill innocent people. What was it? I'm trying to think of it. Remember when he kills the mailman in Hitman Blood Money? Like, he tells the mailman, he's like, you know, come in and get your tip, and then he shoots the mailman. It's because of it's because of the package that he got, and it was also because the mailman was probably an assassin. That's probably what happened. He was either an assassin or a spy, giving away 47's position. Because if you watch that cutscene really carefully with the mailman doesn't want a tip. And the thing about that is, when you think about it, like, a lot of these jobs rely heavily on tips. So you think, like, who would not want a tip? Who wouldn't? And so that's why it's debated whether the mailman was an assassin or not. But, like, when the mailman doesn't want a tip in that mission, it's debated whether he was actually, like, you know, out to get 47 or not. So that, you know, some people say that. Oh yeah, well, Squidward is definitely like a, you know, a much better human being than Mr. Krabs. Mr. Krabs is a really bad, worse, horrible human being. Well, I shouldn't even call him a human being. He's a crab, but he's a horrible person, I should say. Thoughts on DoorDash and Uber Eats drivers not getting tips? I think if somebody delivers your food and like from DoorDash or Uber Eats and you don't give them like a tip, I think that person's like a scumbag if they don't give them a tip, because most of these drivers, most of their money comes from tips. And the thing is, some of these drivers have to drive like really far to get to their places and stuff like that. And so sometimes they drive through horrible weather, and when somebody wouldn't give them like a tip, it was just you know, I think that's very disrespectful. I'll tell you this though, like a lot of I noticed that like a lot of tourists that come to America, don't leave tips. And what I'll say about that is, I'm not saying that tourists are rude. I'm not saying that by any means. But it's because in American culture, people need tips. In America, tips are a very important part in a lot of jobs. And in America, we generally tip. Like, we tip for services in America. In a lot of European countries, for instance, they don't tip. It's not part of their culture. And it's also because waiters, drivers, and all those other people, they get paid generally more than like in America. So that's why they don't tip. But like a lot of like tourists, they will come over to America and they won't tip. And that's like yeah, that's why, you know, that's why I would recommend people is that, you know, if you ever visit like America, if you ever visit like America, you're a tourist. Like if you do some kind of service, like, you know, somebody does a service for you, deliver something, or like a waiter at a restaurant, make sure that you tip. Because I'm not saying that you're rude or anything, but just like a lot of cultures, they don't tip, and so they don't. But they don't understand when they come to America that it's that we tip for a lot of our services. The only time, yeah, people survive on tips. The only time that I would ever honestly justify not giving somebody a tip, the only time I would ever, is if the service is really bad. If it's really, really bad service, and even if it's really bad service, I'd still give a tip, but it'd probably be it'd be a fraction of what I would give for good service. So that's what I would just say is that you know that. Nice Sunday's good, zombie. Why do you say culture? You mean society? Well, it's I would say that I would say that tipping is kind of part of American culture. Like it's like it is big here. Like, I'll give you a perfect example of something. Is if you walk into like most stores in America, like most retail stores, if you walk into them and you look at the cashier, where the cashier is sitting, or the cashier is standing, I should say. In almost all stores in America, cashiers stand. Almost everywhere. I'm sure there's some stores where cashiers get to sit down, but almost all stores cashiers stand. And you ask yourself, why are the cashiers standing in American stores? Why is that happening? And then if you go to Europe, for instance, the vast majority of cashiers in Europe sit in a lot of places. I'll look at the super chats in just one moment here, Casey. I'm sorry. I'll read your super chats in just one moment, guys. I'm sorry if I missed anybody's super chat. But what I was saying is that when I visited Poland in like 2010. I was like, you know, I was so fascinated by that like cashiers sit. I know it's something, you know, completely like, you know, it's pointless and stuff. Well, it's irrelevant, I would say. It's not that interesting. But the reason I found it so interesting that cashiers sit is because, like, in my country, like in America, and I was like, you know, 16 when I visited Poland in 2010, it was that everybody stands. And now, why do people in Europe, you know, sit at the cash register, but people in America stand? It's because it's part of American culture. It's because in my country, in America, it's seen as laziness when you sit at the cash register. That's precisely why. I disagree with that. I don't think it's laziness. But it's seen as laziness. That's why companies don't give people chairs to sit on. That's why they don't allow you to sit, because it's seen as more, ironically, more professional if you stand. But standing is unhealthy. If you stand at the cash register for 8 hours, it's unhealthy. It hurts your joints, hurts your legs. It's not good. I think the correct thing is to if you have somebody that's going to be in the same spot for like hours, if somebody's going to be an 8-hour shift in the exact same spot, I don't see why they can't sit. I don't see why not. But that's how companies in America see it. They see it as lazy. So that's another thing, you know, cultural thing. So that's what I was getting at basically with that. Let me look here. After this, I'm gonna help somebody else sell. What's worse than no tippers are refund scammers. Oh yeah, thank you, Side, for the super chat. I know what a refund scammer is. A refund scammer is basically somebody that will steal something from the store, and then they'll try to bring it in the store and get a refund. That's what they typically do. Or a refund scammer might be somebody that buys something from a store, and they might buy like a laptop or something like that. They'll buy like a laptop, and they will they have that exact same laptop at home, but the laptop they have at home is broken, and so they'll just bring back that same laptop and keep the new laptop. That's, you know, refund scammers are very common. Those guys, you know, suck. Did I hear about the Wendy's worker with Down syndrome being fired after 20 years? I did hear about that, yeah. That was just unfortunate. And the thing is, though, is I'll tell you something. That guy's boss was probably some massive scumbag. Like, thank you, buddy, for the super chat. I'll tell you something. I've had this one supervisor when I worked in retail. She was, you know, a massive scumbag. Like, it was just, I really didn't like her. Really didn't like her. She was my most disliked supervisor. There was one supervisor that was really lazy. And I actually, even though I really didn't like the lazy supervisor either, I actually preferred the lazy supervisor over this supervisor, because even though she did some work, it was her attitude constantly got in the way, and she was just so annoying. And it was just so rude and nasty constantly to people. So even the lazy supervisor, even though he wasn't helping me, at least I don't have to deal with somebody yelling at me constantly. So that was that. I'd rather have more work than have less work and have somebody constantly yelling at me for stupid things. But this supervisor that I had when I first, and this is exactly why you don't judge a book by its cover, because when I first met this supervisor, when I met her the first time, she was very nice. You know, my first week of working there, and then after a few weeks, I just got to know her, and she was just, you know, nasty, very disrespectful, very rude to people, very unreasonable. But if you want to know, for example, some of the stuff that she would do is she would oftentimes sit in the office. I don't know what she was doing in the office. She would do some work, so she did more work than the lazy supervisor. But if you called her for anything, she would get on your case. Like if you actually needed help with something and you called her, she would give you an attitude every time. Even though if I would need help with something, if I would need to go somewhere, if I would need to do something, and I called her for anything, even if I had a customer that wanted to speak to her, I would always get an attitude constantly. And the ridiculous thing about this is that if she needed help with something, you were supposed to drop whatever you were doing, and you were supposed to go and help her immediately. But if she was doing something and you called her for help, she'd give you an attitude. She would just say, "Don't you see I'm in the middle of something right now?" But if you said that to her, oh man, she would explode on you. So it was just that was a supervisor that I really didn't like. You know, just constant attitude, constant, you know, just disrespectful, rude, nasty. I couldn't stand her at all. It was just that. I remember there was two times. And the thing about this is, when I first started working with her, this is like, you know, how old was I? I was like 19 years old when I started working with her. So, you know, this is almost 10 years ago when this happened. And I'm going to go help somebody else with their sales right now, Mark. But when I was working with this supervisor, and let me see if there was anybody else who made a super chat here that I missed one. Thoughts on the Bayonetta 3 voice actor controversy? I don't know anything about that. I'm assuming they mean that, like, a voice actor didn't come back for it? Is that what it's about? Thank you, Eclipse Nova. And thank you, DL Gaming. Remember I told you a while back about my fanfic series my buddies and I play on? Our gang's called the Sin City Speed Demons, similar to the Rollers. Oh, that's fanfic? Oh, the, book? Is that a book that you're writing? I'm sorry, I'm just a little bit confused right now, DL Gaming. But anyways, thank you guys for the super chats. But what I was getting at with this supervisor, so there was 2 incidents that I had with this supervisor that was really rude and nasty to me. And the thing is, if I was working with her today, I would have said something back. I would have. But back then, I didn't know how to stand up for myself. And so she would just yell at me, she would just berate me. It was really bad. But there was two times where she yelled at me for things that were not my fault at all. And the second time she went too far. But basically what happened was, this is when I worked in retail, And so I had a long line of customers. I was on the register. I had a long line of customers. There was another cashier that was right next to me. They were on the floor, but then they came to help open up another register. And so we had 2 lines of people, big line that was creating. And then what happened was the coupon machine was down. It was broken. And basically, the coupon machine, you just had to change out the slips in it. So there's like this slip that you had to change occasionally, and it would just fix the paper, and you would put the paper back in, and it would just start working again. And so the slip needed to be changed. And what happened was the customers started complaining. They started saying the coupon machine isn't working. And these customers were also stupid. They were stupid because they were being unreasonable because they saw that we had a huge line, though. And they were constantly saying, coupon machine, fix it, while I'm in this big line. And so I end up dialing the office from the front desk. And I literally say to her, can you please fix the coupon machine? We have a long line. I need help right now. And she literally, the supervisor gets on my case, and she says to me, are you people so stupid and incompetent, you are incapable of anything? And then she just hung up on me. That's literally what she said to me. And that was just, I actually needed help. I was being overwhelmed by customers, and, you know, she called me incompetent and stupid. There was a second incident with the supervisor that I had, where the second time, basically what happened was I was helping a customer with their photo order. So we had a photo machine. This customer wanted like several like pictures to be printed. Also anybody who needs help, invite me. So there was a customer that needed help with the photo machine. And the thing is though is she was such an idiot that she preached the company rules specifically. She always said, this is company policy. Company policy says this. Company policy says this. And ironically, at that same time that she yelled at me, I was actually following company policy, which company policy said that if you are helping a customer, you are not allowed to help another customer until you finish helping that customer. And so I was helping a customer with their photo order, and what happened was a line started being built up in the front register. The cashier asked me for help, but I said I can't help right now because I'm helping a customer with their photo order. And so what ends up happening is there was no cameras under the photo machine. And so she was in the office, she looked at all the cameras, and she didn't see me on the photo machine, and she thought that I was slacking off, that I wasn't helping with the customers on the register. And she literally comes down, she finishes the line, and then she gives me an attitude and says that I was slacking off, I was not helping to get the customers out, that I wasn't helping the front register, and she told me that now I can't take a break until like 2 hours from now. So she delayed my break, which technically she broke the law at that point. You can't do that. You can't tell people that when they're supposed to take a break, you can't just tell people, no, you can't take a break until like later now. Like, so she was pretty much violating labor laws and stuff like that. And I literally, when I was actually leaving that day, I told her that I was actually helping. I didn't yell at her or anything, but I told her I was helping like a customer on the photo machine. And you yelled at me for that. And you said that I was doing nothing and that I was being lazy. And she just gave me a blank stare. Did not say anything, just a complete blank stare, that was it. Like, you know, I think she was a narcissist, I would definitely say that. Like, not admitting that she's right, not admitting that she's wrong ever. And that was just, you know, that, I couldn't stand her. You know, that was like a nasty supervisor that I dealt with. And if you want to know what ended up happening to her, she actually got fired. But she didn't get fired for being nasty to people constantly. You'd think that she'd get fired for that. They tolerated it constantly. Management was perfectly fine with that for a long time. The reason she got fired wasn't because of her rudeness. It was actually because she was technically accused of stealing. Because what happened was she had a friend of hers that would constantly come in the store, and that friend of hers, she would always ring up that friend. So nobody else would ring up that friend, and that friend would buy like $200 worth of merchandise, and she would bring in a ton of coupons. And so she would always scan the coupons, and she would manually overwrite it, and so her friend would just get massive discounts. And she did that like multiple times, basically costing the company like, you know, hundreds, possibly thousands of dollars, and she got fired over that. And she broke down in tears when she got fired, and it was everything like that. I remember that day too. I remember like there was a bunch of people from corporate. They were in the store, and they told her, and literally she told me that that day that she got fired, she actually told me that I better behave because there's corporate big shots here. That's what she said. There's corporate big shots, and you better behave. And then what happened was they called her to the office, and then maybe like 30 minutes later, she just ran out of the store like crying. I didn't know what was going on, and then another supervisor told me she got fired. And I honestly did not care that she got fired. I was like, I actually felt relieved. I was like, oh, I don't have to deal with this rude person anymore. I'm sorry that she lost her job and everything, but it does, you know, it doesn't give you an excuse to be constantly rude to people, nasty like that. And also, she was helping her friend, you know, scam the store. So it's just, you know, that it just, you know, it's her own fault for everything that happened. But that. And honestly, like, I'll tell you guys something. When that supervisor, when she was being, like, really nasty to me, like, really rude to me, I never wanted her fired, even when she was being really nasty and rude to me. I wanted management to just talk to her and just tell her to stop, but management would do nothing. So that was just it. But, after getting berated that many times, yelled at that many times, disrespected that much, and then, and then she gets fired at that point, I didn't care anymore. It was just that. But, yeah. A lot of retail stores are very similar to this. Let me teleport to your business. Oh, invite me to business. A lot of retail stores are very similar to this. Very similar that in retail, you will almost never get fired for being rude in retail. Almost never. The only time you get fired for being rude in retail, you know when? When you're rude to customers. When you're rude to your coworkers, you almost never get fired for that in retail, unless you're rude to a manager. Then maybe. But if you're like a supervisor or a manager and you're constantly disrespecting your staff, you're never going to get fired for that. It's not going to happen. Have you seen the Last of Us TV show trailer? No, I haven't, Jen. Thank you for the super chat. I will, maybe I'll watch it. I didn't like the way the second game went, but I like the first game a lot. But I'll give this show a try, probably whenever it comes out. Is it against labor laws to not let workers go on break? Yes. Definitely. Let me get over to the... Would I consider Brucey a narcissist? Probably, I don't know. I mean, he does admit to Nico that he gets really pissed off at times, so... How can you be this patient? It was just my personality. It was also that I didn't know how to stand up for myself, and so that was like a huge reason that, people took advantage of me like that. Here, I think all the cars were taken, right? Yeah. Oh, it's the Dune FAV mission. Okay, well, I'll help with the next one then. What just happened? Oh, okay, I can drive this. Okay. Let me see here. Okay, go there. My boss scheduled me to work a week after I got COVID positive last summer. He never apologized. Oh, I'm sorry that happened to you, Ricky. Does anybody in the comments have any retail horror stories? Oh, I know that, Mr. K, but, if somebody's giving you good service, I don't see why you can't give them a tip. But I'm sorry about your boss. Your boss sounds like an idiot. I'm sorry he did that to you. I could play the True Crime games one day. You curse a lot? Not really, no. The stories I tell makes me scared to work in the stories I hear you tell makes me scared to work in retail. I don't blame you. Honestly, for anybody that wants to work in retail, I would say that retail is maybe like a decent first job. Get some experience, but it's not a place you want to stay in. Maybe like 1 or 2 years at max. Don't stay longer than that. But I would say, you know what I should have done? When I was working in retail, I should have just, like, quit and done, like, Uber. That's, like, what I should have just done. I would have preferred to do that, like, at least work on my own time than, like, deal with these, rude people, like, constantly. Like, did Uber Eats and DoorDash even exist when I was in retail? I was, like, what, 2016 to... I was working 2013 to 2019, so that was it, but, if I would have preferred to, you know, to deliver food for people, honestly, than like than work in retail. And at least you'd be getting on tips, so at least there's that. I had one, it wasn't a worker or a manager, but a customer. They thought I was threatening them by helping them out when it was raining and even held an umbrella over their head. They reported me? What? Okay, these people sound like idiots. I'm sorry about that. Reporting you for holding an umbrella over their head while it's raining. Yeah. What's worse, fast food or retail? They're both really bad. But I would say fast food is worse than retail. The reason that I would say that is because even though I didn't work in fast food, I've had friends that work in the food industry, and I've heard horror stories. Like I've heard like really, you know, really bad things. But what I would say about the food industry is that at least in retail, the one benefit is that, you know, you just get stuff for people. That's basically it, and help people out sometimes with the products. But in the food industry, you're cooking for people and delivering their food, or you're serving it to them. And I'll tell you something, knowing the customers that I had in retail, I can imagine the horrible customers that you have in fast food. I can only imagine that, you know, people would say, like, you know, it's too hot or it's too cold when it's the right temperature. They would say, you know, it's overcooked when it's not. They would say, I didn't want to cook this way. I didn't order this. You know that. You know, people complaining about the dumbest things just to get free food. So I could totally see that happening. So that's why I honestly think retail is worse. Fast food industry is worse than retail, because people complain about the dumbest things when you order food. I've heard of people who said they intended to work retail for a year or two, but they ended up working 10 plus years because they didn't know what else to do with their lives. So, well, I was almost like that, Edgy. I really didn't know what to do. Like, I ended up finishing college, but I ended up finishing college in law enforcement, and so I didn't know if I wanted to even be a police officer at that point anymore. And so I felt like I was trapped in this box in retail. But my YouTube channel saved me, and so I'm really grateful to you guys for you know, watching my videos and helping me out on YouTube, because it got me out of that toxic work environment that I didn't have to deal with that garbage anymore. My favorite food? Oh, that's easy, Zachary. Sushi. Would I ever do a playthrough of Call of Duty World at War, maybe even the Black Ops Saga? I did Black Ops 1 on the channel, and I did Black Ops Cold War. That I did. I tried to play World at War, but it got striked by YouTube, unfortunately, when I tried to do it. And YouTube striked it. Basically, they accused my World at War playthrough of promoting harmful and brutality content, which I don't know how it was. I just played the game. Pro, I skipped your super chat. No, I didn't, Alizé. I just probably didn't see it. I'm sorry. I'll look at the super chats right now. Thank you, Terrell, for that super chat earlier. I will look at the super chats in just one moment, guys. Just give me a minute. I just want to deliver this dude FAV to the drop here. Okay, I know a shortcut here, though. Okay, here we go. Okay, let me see here. Do I regret playing the Saints Row reboot? No, I don't, Alizé. Even though I experienced severe cringe when I played for the reboot, I don't regret it, because I played every single Saints Row game in the series, and so I wanted to at least give the Saints Row reboot a try, and also because I want to do a review on the Saints Row reboot. I do, and my review is gonna be up. Give me like 1 or 2 weeks, guys. I know I'm kind of late on it, but I'm gonna do a good review on it, break down everything pretty much that I can in the game, and but my review is not gonna be good towards the game. It's not. If you watch my playthrough, you know how I feel about the game. You know about the things that piss me off in the game. But that's that. And I can also, you know, make a review, and I can warn people about it too. So it's, you know, it'll help people. Thank you, Iron. I don't know what you said. The message was retracted, but I do appreciate the super chat. Thank you for that. You were training to join the police? Yes. Yes, Project. I finished school in law enforcement technology. I wanted to possibly be a detective, but I didn't want to be a police any kind. I still want to work in police anymore. I don't, because it's just not you know, it's not necessarily a good time to, you know, it's not a good time necessarily to be a police officer. It's just that a lot of the public hates cops today, and I know there's bad cops out there. I know there's, you know, I know there's scumbag cops, and I know there's, you know, racist and bad cops that shouldn't be cops. But most cops are good people, and I just don't like that cops have these labels put on them. And so that's like one of the reasons that I wouldn't want to be a cop today, because I just don't feel like it's a good atmosphere to work in anymore. I work as a cart pusher, and it baffles me how inconsiderate people are, leaving shopping carts everywhere. It also shows how many people have no idea how to drive. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Gaiman. What I'll say about that is that the shopping carts, right? When I would get them also. I worked, you know, I did everything in the store, but I would also go outside and get carts. And so there was a highway that was like maybe like a quarter of a mile from the store that I worked at. And what happened was people actually took the cars to the highway, so they pushed them like all the way there, and there's like a ramp near the highway, and cars would just be speeding through there, and I'd have to walk that huge distance and get the cars, and I'd be scared to cross that ramp because it was like there's so many people. It was like the beginning of the ramp, so it wasn't like down the highway, but it was like it was bad, and it was like I was like, why do people take their carts like, you know, so far away? Like, you know, why do they do this? Wait, what, zombie? I'm confused.
No.
But thank you, Alize. Why don't I use grenades? Well, I guess I use sticky bombs most of the time, so I like sticky bombs because I can detonate them. Yeah, I gotta leave the area, you're right. I wasn't paying attention, I'm sorry. A coworker threatened me because he thought I got bleach on his shoes when he didn't, and he said he'd beat me up. Well, I hope you reported him. I hope you reported him. It pisses me off when people drive fast through the parking lot. Yeah, and I will tell you guys something. Do you know what actually happened to my coworker once in retail about that? What happened to my coworker was, so she got into her car, right? She was sitting in her parked car, and the parking lot that we had was really scary. Like, I refused to park in the front of the parking lot. I would park behind the store at the back, because I felt that the front parking lot was just unsafe. Because people were maniacs, and people were driving like crazy. People were going 40 miles per hour in this parking lot, and all the cars were right next to each other. You wouldn't have enough time to stop if something pulled out at the last second. And so what happened was, my coworker got into her car once, and she started up her car. She just sat in her car for maybe like a minute or two. A car was going like 40 miles per hour or something like around that. It smashed into her. Just smashed right into her. You know, she had her seatbelt on. She was okay. She had minor injuries. She was fine. The person in the crazy customer in the car was also okay. But what ended up happening was, the way that car hit her car, her entire car burst into flames. Like, she got out of the car and she was fine, but her whole car burst into flames, my coworker's car. And I didn't know that could happen. I don't know anything about cars, but I didn't know that could happen. I don't know if there was something wrong with her car or what. Maybe somebody in the comment section who knows more about cars will know about why that happened. But her whole car, like, it was like after a few minutes, her car burst into flames after getting hit. And I don't know, like, I didn't know that a car could do that. That like another car would hit it and it would just burst into flames like that. I didn't know that could something like that could happen. But it just surprised me, and that was just it. She had her whole car replaced. The insurance covered it. But I can't imagine, like, I don't remember what kind of car it was. I'm sorry about that. But you know, that's you know, the psycho drivers. But does anybody in the comments know why that happened? How it's possible for something like that to happen? But I didn't know that, like, a parked car getting rammed. Like, the car was started, so she already had the car started. She was just parked. But I didn't know that a parked car, like, getting rammed could, like, you know, go up in flames like that. But he hit the engine real bad, possibly, I guess. He smashed right into her, but gas leak, yeah. Well, it's yeah, it's a good thing I never parked in that front parking lot, but we've had accidents there before, and yeah. Yeah, well, about what, Zombie? I'm confused. Yeah, Claude is a psychopath. I talked about this earlier. No professional. He is family to my manager. He's family to my manager's part-time job. My manager did see him get in my face and told him to sit down. He didn't get fired, which pissed me off. Well, if anything else ever happens, you go to your manager right away. And you basically tell your manager, I don't care. You basically tell your manager, I don't care if this is your family member or not. You know, they can't treat me like this. Okay, Zombie. Okay, let's get this up here. Yeah, I would like the cell missions to be, better. We don't really use the cruise anymore, though, man. Yeah. There was a guy who was driving 70 miles per hour, he almost ran over an old lady, but he came to a screeching halt after you put 10 cars in front of him. Oh, well, at least you stopped him, his psycho drive. I don't know why some people are so careless on the road. Why people leave shopping carts in parking spots. Yeah, the thing about this is, there's a Soprano. I watch Dr. Phil a bit. Like, I watch a lot of his episodes, and, like, sometimes I agree with some of the stuff Dr. Phil says. Sometimes I don't agree. And like one of the times that I didn't agree with him on was I saw this video of this guy called the cart narc, and this guy like runs a YouTube channel, and so he basically spends time in like retail parking lots. And basically, if people don't return shopping carts, he tells them, like, you know, why aren't you returning the cart and stuff like that. And the guy is a bit of an idiot. You know, he is. I wouldn't recommend doing that. I don't, you know, support it. But Dr. Phil didn't seem to understand the message that the guy was trying to give. Because the guy said that the guy was saying that by people leaving their carts, that they're just putting extra work on these employees, and it's not that hard to return your cart. Well, a lot of people are careless with that. That's the point the guy was trying to make, but Dr. Phil didn't seem to understand that. But that was, yeah, the guy, like, he does YouTube. You might want to watch his channel, though, Soprano. That might interest you. Like, he's on YouTube. I think he has, like, 500,000 subs. So he just does videos where he tells people, like, you know, hey, why don't you put away the cart? The thing, like I agree with the message that he gives, but I personally think it's kind of stupid to confront people. I think that's bad. because you never know, like, you never know how somebody can react to you. Somebody can be very aggressive and violent and stuff like that. So he is, I guess, in a way, he is provoking people with that. But I understand why he's also asking people why aren't you returning cards? Because of stuff like that. But I don't get it. I know that in a lot of European countries, though, you put a coin in the cart, and then you get your coin back when you put the cart back in its place. I don't mind that system. I don't think that's a bad system. You're not really losing any money. It's encouraging people not to be lazy. So it's some of our shopping trolleys end up in the local river. What? The skydive booth at Rebel Radio is preventing the pumpkin from spawning in. Go explore it. It should spawn by the front door of the radio station. I'll check it out right now, Matthew. Yes, it is, Fernando. I agree with you. I've had to walk like a mile before to get a shopping cart. I'm not joking on that. So like sometimes shopping carts will be taken very far. I think so earlier, Zombie. You missed my super chat, Pro. I'm sorry, Toyota. Let me look. Thank you, Matthew, for that super chat earlier. Let me see, Toyota. Sorry, I meant Call of Duty. Please use them. Oh, you mean in Call of Duty? Why don't I use grenades? I don't know. I guess I don't really need grenades oftentimes. I use flashbangs. Flashbangs, I'm much more likely to use flashbangs in the campaign in Call of Duty games than I am in grenades. Also, one of the reasons that I don't like to use grenades in campaign is because I play on hardened, so your health can be drained really fast, and so you get shot up a bunch. You need to take in cover, and then you already have the grenade pulled. So that's like another reason why. Why are houses in America made of the cheap material? Where are you getting that? Some houses are, sure, but there's a lot of houses that aren't. Like houses in the 1970s, like where some were painted with like lead paint, but like we don't really do that anymore. That's well, your supermarket should charge them with vandalism then if they're doing that, Mark. Yeah, you can react to my videos, that's fine.
That's a successful sale. The funds are transferred.
My boss tried to get me to clean his car while doing a shift when it was busy. It was my duty to keep busy while I'm being paid. There's a bot? Where? Oh, I'm banning the bot. I'm sorry, that's not me, guys. It's the bot. That professional account is not me. I'm banning it. Okay, look, if your boss is gonna tell you to go wash his car, say to your boss, are you gonna pay me for that? And if he tells you I'm only gonna pay you your standard rate, your wage, then say I'm not doing that. And when he says why, just say it's not in my job description. You go clean your own car. So that's just it. Basically, I'll tell you guys something about that. Is there's the store that I worked at, the retail store. What happened was the retail store they had a pharmacy department, right? And what happened was sometimes some of the people in pharmacy were nice, but then some of the people in pharmacy were like really rude and arrogant. And no, I didn't. I don't know about. I didn't hear about the controversy. Somebody mentioned earlier Alize, but I didn't hear about this Bayonetta 3 voice actor controversy. But what was it? Oh yeah. So this. Basically, what happened was the pharmacy department. I would help out the pharmacy a lot of times. Like, I wouldn't work in the pharmacy, but I would help clean the pharmacy, and I would help to, I would help to get rid of the throwbacks, which the pharmacy had like a lot of throwbacks, which that was like stuff that was stuff that was under the counter, stuff that customers didn't want. So customers would go up to the pharmacy and they'd say, "Oh, I don't want this anymore," and then the pharmacy would like keep like a whole load of stuff, and they would get, you know, it would take up a lot of space, and I'd clean that out for them. I would put it all right back on the shelves, and that was their job technically because it was in their location. But I'd still do that for them if I wasn't busy, just to help them out. And what happened was the pharmacy. Sometimes the people in the pharmacy, they would, whenever we asked them for help with something, we asked them for help in like an aisle, can you help us clean this or that, when they clearly weren't busy, a lot of times they would just say, that's not in my job description. That's not in my description. And what would happen is, it is like, okay, you know, that might not be in your job description, but the most ridiculous thing that I found is when they would leave a mess in the break room. So they would eat in the break room, and they would leave a big mess. Like food would be on the floor, food would be on the plate, not even thrown out. The microwave would be a giant mess with just sticky food. You know, garbage would not get thrown out, even though they were the ones who filled it up. You know, stuff like that. And they would think that it'd be the front store people. They thought that it'd be the people, the regular retail work employees. Pharmacy thought that it was up to them to clean. You know, they didn't have to clean up in the break room, even though if you eat in the break room, you clean up. I don't care if you're a doctor, lawyer, whatever role you clean up. It doesn't matter if how fancy your education is. It doesn't matter if you're a pharmacist or what. You clean up in the break room if you eat. That's the way I see it. And what happened was this so the pharmacy, whenever you would confront them on that, they would admit to it. They would admit they didn't clean up, but they would say it's not in my job description. They would say that constantly. And so one time I did it right back to them. So one time I get called to the pharmacy. And I get called to the pharmacy, and I thought that was kind of strange because, like, why did they need me at the pharmacy? I get called to the pharmacy. I see this, like, big orange puddle, like it's orange stuff, like, on the floor, like it's gooey stuff. I didn't know, like, what it was. And and the pharmacist tells me to clean that up. It's right in front of the pharmacy. And I tell him, I'm like, what happened? And the pharmacist just tells me that a customer vomited. Clean it up right now. And you know what I said to him? I said to him, it's not in my job description. I'm not doing that, just like they would do. And I walked away. And I don't get paid enough for this. I'm not cleaning up somebody's vomit. It's like, you know, that's like, you know, I felt disrespected. I honestly did. But they called me up to clean up vomit in front of the pharmacy. And so that's like one of the few times I did start standing up for myself. I was like, no, this is I'm not doing this. And so it was and what I'll tell you something is, I had this one supervisor that I worked with. And this is a different supervisor than the one I was talking about earlier. But when I first started working with her, this is a different one. I didn't like her at first because I thought she was too strict. But then I realized that she was actually one of the best supervisors, because even though she was strict, you know, she was she was very strict at times. She always got the job done. She always got work done, and she had her employees' backs. That's the thing about her. So even though she was strict, she would always get the job done, and she would always have the backs of employees as long as you were doing your job. And what happened was, I went up to that one supervisor who was really strict, and I told she asked me, why am I being called to the pharmacy? And I said to her that, you know, they want me to go clean up vomit, and she just says, they want you to do what? That's what she said. And she literally went over to the pharmacy and just screamed at them for trying to get me to clean up vomit. And I heard her at the other end of the store. Like, she was, like, yelling at the top of her lungs. And they deserved that. They deserved to get that yelling, because that was just, I'm not going to clean up vomit. I'm sorry. I'm getting paid a little bit over minimum wage, but that's not cleaning up vomit. That was it. Like, that was just, yeah. Thank you, Tyler, for sponsoring my channel. Thank you, man. Yeah, and that's the thing, is that, you know, strict doesn't mean bad. I learned that lesson. It taught me a valuable lesson while working, is that I had one supervisor that was really, you know, nasty. I had one supervisor that was, like, really, I had one supervisor that was really lazy, and I had one supervisor that was really strict. But the strict supervisor was the best one out of them. She was the best supervisor, because she would always, as long as you were doing your job, she would never get on your case. Sometimes she was a little bit too pushy. I do agree with that. But, you know, as long as you were doing your job, she wouldn't get on your case, and she had her employees' backs, and so everything would get done in an orderly fashion. And so that was, you know, I liked her much more than the other supervisors that I worked with. I did end up actually helping her out. I helped her out like 2 years ago when I was still living in New York. No, more like 3 years ago. When I was still living in New York, I helped her to find a house. Because she wanted to, her husband passed away, and so she wanted to buy a smaller house. She didn't want the big house, and so she wanted She wanted to sell her house and buy a smaller house, and so she asked me for help to find her like a smaller house. She asked me she gave me the description of the type of house that she wanted. She told me the general area where she wanted to live, and so I researched like a bunch of houses. I found it for her, and I helped her out. I also translated a little bit because English was her second language, so she wasn't like she wasn't that good. She was a okay English speaker, but there were sometimes where she didn't understand certain things, and so I would explain that to her. She wasn't Polish, by the way. She was from India, but I did help her out a bit, and so I helped her, and she ended up finding a good house. I don't speak what is the language called in India? Hindi, I think it is. I don't speak the language, but I would just explain to her like the houses and stuff like that. That's what I meant and stuff. Pro is playing life at max honor. Well, thank you. Could I do a playthrough of Bully? Hindi, yeah, that's it. So yeah, I found a few houses for her, and she, I'll tell you what about her is, she was very good at her job. Like she knew how to do her job really well. But she was terrible with computers, like just terrible, like really, really bad. But she worked in a job that didn't need computers, to be fair, but she was like really bad at computers, and so I did help her out with that, and I helped her I helped her navigate like a bunch of websites. Like we used Zillow, and then what did we use also? We used I think it was apartments.com. We considered looking at a few apartments for her. And then there was another website that I used. I forgot, like 3 different housing websites, and so I would explain to her the houses and stuff like that, and what it was. And eventually she ended up choosing one of the houses that I found for her, and there was that. And she thanked me for that, and that was it. And this is after I quit, so I didn't have to help my coworker out, but I decided to help her out because she did have my back a lot of times, and she helped out. But she was like the best supervisor there. But yeah, I don't want people getting confused. I just I misspoke a little bit there. I don't speak I think the language in India is Hindi. What I meant by translating is I meant that I would explain to her the stuff on the website, because sometimes she got a little bit confused. We're understaffed and the restaurant is always busy. And let me guess though, Ricky. Let me guess. The management at the store does not want to hire people, right? Am I right on that? You're understaffed and you're always busy, and management doesn't want to hire. Am I right? What was the worst customer experience that I had in retail? I had a customer that threatened me once. That was the worst experience that I had. Basically, what happened was, there was this customer. It was close to closing, so it was like 8 or 9 p.m. Like the store closed at 10. And what happened was I had a customer that came in, and they wanted what was it? They bought a pack of gum. They came in the store 3 times. They wanted a pack of gum. And he bought the pack of gum because he wanted to get change from, to get cash back. He was using a debit card. He got like $10 back. He comes back like 5-10 minutes later. He says that the laundromat doesn't take $10 bills. And so he wants like singles. I give him 10 singles. He comes back a third time. He's just screaming at the top of his lungs at me. Just like yelling at me. I didn't know what was going on, why he was so pissed off at me, what I could have done to piss him off that much. But he was really pissed off, and basically I asked him what happened, why he's so pissed. And he told me that after he left the store, that somebody prank called him. And he accused me of doing it. And the reason he was accusing me of it was because there was a store card that we had. So like there was a store card that you'd have for points, and you could give your phone number, instead of using the store card. And so he didn't have a store card, so he used his phone number. I took his phone number at the register, and then he accused me of prank calling him. I didn't do that, and he was accusing me of doing that. I said I didn't do it. And I literally said, we have cameras over my head. You can see I didn't touch the phone at all. And I said, why would I even prank call you? Like I'm busy. I'm doing stuff. Like, why would I even do something so stupid? And the thing is, I use so many phone numbers in a day that I don't even remember, most of them. So it's just, I use one phone number for a customer, and then I use another one, and I don't remember the next one. So it just fades really quickly. So, why would I even, call you? Why would I do that? And then he just says to me, I better not find out that you did it. And then what ended up happening was, the store closed. The store closed. It was around 10 o'clock. I'm walking to my car, and also I told my coworkers about what was going on. and my coworkers were laughing about it because the customer was just being a psycho. And then what ended up happening was I'm walking to my car like after 10 o'clock. He confronts me at my car, which is really creepy, and it was in the parking lot, and he just starts saying to me, repeating, like, I better not find out you called me, like just over and over again. And then what ends up happening is my supervisor at the time, her husband was there to pick her up, and her husband was this really big, like, Swedish guy, and so, like, he just got in that guy's face, and he was, like, 2 times that guy's size. And he literally just turned around, looked at me, and he said, Patrick, go home, just go. And like I just went and I drove away home. I never saw that customer again. There was no fight after that. The guy backed down, but it was just that. It was just, I don't know like what this guy's problem was, but he was just like crazy guy. That's just what I'll say about that.
Okay, invoice paid.
Thank you, Tyler,
We
for
have a
sponsoring
sale.
my channel.
Currency
Thank you,
Log
Alize.
and Long John T is logging out.
It'd be cool if Vice City in GTA 6 added heist, because I love heist and doing the drug trade, and being the drug lord is awesome, but I love heist more. I personally would like to see more focus on the drug trade in the next GTA game than heist. I don't mind heist, but I don't want to, to be spammed. Yes, and the manager is now back to his home state last Wednesday. So Ricky here, I don't know if I don't know if he saved my life, but he definitely helped me out. I don't know. There was multiple people there, so I don't know if he was gonna, if the guy was gonna do something, but he was just being aggressive, and I do thank him for standing up for me and stopping that guy. But that was just that guy was just I don't know what his problem was. He's a crazy guy. Hi, Professor. I hope your day's going well. It is. Perry, thank you for the super chat. Hello, Steven. And what was it? Does anybody want to do a heist, by the way? I'm down to do a heist if anybody wants to do a heist. Okay, so Ricky was saying in the chat earlier, Ricky was saying that his his restaurant is severely understaffed. There's too many customers, and management refuses to hire more people. And this is what I'll tell you about this is. This attitude is pretty much universal across so many companies in America, and it's stupid. There is so many corporations in America. I guess we could do that. But there are so many corporations in America where their line of reasoning is so stupid. Basically, a lot of corporations in America, yeah, they're being cheap, exactly. They think the way they see it, and the same thing happened at my store. At my store, we had like 2 or 3 people working on a shift, but we really needed 4 to 5 people, really. And if we had 4 to 5 people on a shift, we could easily get all the tasks done, no problem, and even more. But management was so unreasonable that they would always put like 2 or 3 people on the shift and expect you to do all the tasks. Because a lot of these companies, the way they look at it is these companies, they basically think, why should we hire another person when we can get one person to do tasks of 2 or 3 people? That's like how these CEOs look at it. That's how the management looks at it. They look at stuff like that. And, oh, and one more thing. Somebody wanted me to check out the jack-o'-lantern at the Rebel Radio, right? I forgot about that. Let me just go and check that right now. It's called the free market. Don't be a communist. It's not. It has not. I despise communism. It has nothing to do with that. I'm not even, criticizing the free market in this. I'm just criticizing bad business practices. I'm saying that companies are cheap. They're greedy, and so companies cannot, like, literally. This is basic economics. You cannot expect one person to do the tasks of 2 to 3 people and then expect to be a productive company. You can't. That's the thing about that. And that's what I'll never understand. What I'll never understand about these companies is these companies pay workers just a little bit over minimum wage, and they expect like 5-star professional best customer service. Like they expect that they're gonna get like the best customer service. Like that they expect it's gonna be like the best customer service in the world for paying somebody a little bit over minimum wage. And I'm not saying that people are gonna slack off. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you basically get what you pay for. You pay somebody that amount. You're not going to get 5-star service. It's as simple as that. I don't know how companies can expect that. Okay, somebody said there's a jack-o'-lantern here that's glitched. Where? Where is this glitched jack-o'-lantern? Somebody was saying that there's one you can't pick up here earlier. Oh, whoa. at the radio station. Where? Where here? Oh, let me see. They don't hire new people. They don't hire new people in order to save more money, but they aren't getting more money if their service is bad because of few staff. Oh, I agree with you. I agree. And do you know what wow, a little bit of a friendly troll here. What I was gonna say is let me get this guy here first. Man, this guy knows how to run, right? Yeah. What are your thoughts on celebrity drama? I think it's stupid, and I don't know why anybody would care about it. Now, about these companies. By the glass door? Okay, I'll look at it right now. Okay, now, about these companies. Now, what I was saying is, when you hire that little people, like, don't expect the store to be, like, a disaster. And the worst part about this, guys, is that the stupid companies blame the workers. So when they don't hire enough people, and they get overwhelmed with work, and they're not finishing tasks, and then customers are complaining about long lines, they instead blame the workers. They instead blame the store staff, instead of looking at their bad practices. What, this is glitched? Wait, so people told me this one's glitched? Okay, let me try to pick it up here. I know, I got it. Is it... What's wrong with this? Okay, I guess it might have been a glitch somebody was encountering on PC then. The service carbine. Oh, this is a great rifle. I like this. I just like how accurate it is. I like the fire rate. Yeah, I do like this thing. I like the look of it. It's cool. I like it. The Chick-fil-A near my place is some 40 people working there. And is it productive? No, I'm on PS5. What do you think the cause of Dimitri's downfall was? Constantly betraying everyone? Like Nico said, actions have consequences to Dimitri. No, I haven't, Scarecrow. I could read up on him, but I had never heard of him before. Yeah, I think I will, Mr. Green. But yeah, these, why do people not care about retail workers? I'll tell you why. Is people see, a lot of times people see retail workers as, like, almost degenerates. Like, people look at retail workers and they think that retail workers are failures. That's basically what a lot of people think. I don't think that at all. I think it's wrong. I think it's a stupid way of looking at it. But, like, a lot of people look at that. They say, like, oh, you know, they're they were failures, or they say they're just getting money for college. You know, there's not you know, we shouldn't really care about, you know, that stuff. But I'll tell you something, is that customers think that retail workers are like robots almost, that they're not people, and they don't have a lot of respect for them. And what I'll say is that, damn, what mask will I get here? Get this one. What I'll say about these dumb customers is that anybody who treats retail workers like garbage have never worked in that environment ever. Because if you ever worked in that environment, you know exactly what they're going through. Thank you, Alize. Pro, I work at the zoo at my restaurant. My bosses be very bad at communicating to employees. Yep, it happens. Poor communication, and then they blame you for not finishing up tasks. Thank you, Alize. That's how retail workers are looked at also. But But I'll tell you something. I wonder how the majority of these customers would act, though. Okay, I guess we're going this way then. I wonder how the majority of customers would react, though, if they knew about how retail workers were actually treated. I doubt the majority of customers would care if they knew how retail workers were treated. No, what is that episode called? I love games. What season is that? Okay, good shot. Let's just get the key card from one of them. One of them's gonna have it.
I expect the guards look a little agitated, yes? So would you be if you had a terminal case of shits, huh?
There it is.
Good, side gate. Entrance confirmed.
Why do landlords in California want so many requirements for a house to rent? That's like $1,000 or $2,000 a month. What do you mean by requirements? Do you mean like that they want so much money? It's because houses in California are like really expensive. Houses in California are really expensive. Taxes are really expensive, which cause a lot of other things to go up. I'm not defending the landlords, the scumbag landlords most of the time are the large corporations. The large corporations are most of the time scumbags. But there's like a lot of landlords that are just like, you know, own like 1 or 2 houses that aren't like that. But oh, great. I don't know. Yeah, this guy just stopped. Yeah, just retry this here. I think that was on me. I think that was my fault. But I would consider also looking at other states because I wouldn't want to live in California. Nothing against California, but California is just too expensive, I think. The taxes are too high and rent is just through the roof. You almost always have to have a roommate in California. Same as in New York. I don't know how I got caught too. I was behind the wall and the guy just Oh yeah, the people who hate retail workers, they wouldn't be able to last in retail themselves. I moved out to the Midwest because I like you know, I like it. It's more affordable. It's lower taxation. Rent is more affordable. Property is more affordable. Also, like, I'm a landlord myself. I own rental property. But what I will say is that some landlords are happy about rent going up. I'm not happy about that because even though I own a property that I rent out to, I don't think rent is going up as good because it's not good for the economy. And it's also you're gonna have less people that are gonna want to rent if rent goes up, and they're gonna more likely to buy homes, which isn't good for the landlords. So if landlords are celebrating that rent is going up, I personally think they're stupid. But that's my view on it. Like, a lot of landlords are, like, I noticed that most of the time the scumbags are the large corporations that you know, have, like, several properties. Most of the times those guys are the scumbags. I rent also, so ironically I'm a landlord, but I rent also, and I rent an apartment. And, the apartment I rent is a nice apartment. I like it. You know, I make double from what I make from my house, so my house basically makes my rent double from it, and my rent is reasonable. I don't, you know, overcharge people, but it's about my rent here at this house is that my apartment. I'm saying my apartment is the rent went up by like I think like 20% or something like that, and which was just ridiculous. You know, I was
distracted by the view. If you fall, I did not bring hose to wash you off the rocks.
okay. We got the key cards, right? Okay.
You must enter them at the same time.
Don't get it unless it's gold. No, tenant doesn't recognize me. Always remember that you have no idea what's going on in a customer's life. They could be going through one of the worst experiences of their lives. Still no excuse for them being mean. No, I agree with you, Mark. You know, you don't know what's going on through somebody's life. I had, but out of all the rude customers that I've ever had, I only ever had once a customer apologize to me. Only one time. Only once. A customer wanted to talk to me on the phone. I thought that was kind of weird. And I picked up the phone, and they just said to me, hey, I was having a really bad day. I'm really sorry for how I acted. It wasn't no excuse. I was very surprised by that, because I've never had a customer, you know, apologize to me. But I said it was fine. But, yeah. But there is, I know a lot of people like Mark that would, you know, not even having a bad day would still be rude and just unreasonable. Thank you, Ricky. Most of my shifts involve curbside orders by myself with no help in a curbside parking lot full on a regular basis. Few people complain I took long. Well, yeah, it's, oh, okay, we got gold here. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go, gold. Okay, we got another gold in the other building.
Well done. Do you see the bonds? You know, it is kind of us to be showing Mr. Rubio the flaws in his security. Again.
Okay, I'll consider it, yeah, the main character in Bully would be like a school uniform, right? The cosplay, okay, let's take...
If you see anything you like on the way out, do not be shy. Help yourself. You're not thinking of jumping, are you? I thought we were getting along so well.
Okay, I'm gonna go over that basement, see if there's any loot down there to take. If not, I'll just get the cash in the, What? Okay, we're gonna have to rush out then now. Okay. Somebody come down here and get the cash. Down in the basement here. Okay, let's go then. Go, the door's right here, go. Come on to the door. What do you think about kids and their smartphones these days? I think too many kids are, Ontario, Mr. Waifu, it's, there's a little... I think that people are too obsessed with their phones these days.
Find your way through the last guards, and we get out of here. The coordinates for your extraction point at the airstrip should be with you now.
Great, there's a helicopter.
This time is the straw that breaks the camel's hump, I think.
That's what I hate about Cayo Perico. These bushes are like made of the damn concrete. Oh, come on. Great.
Water is full of attack boats. You will need to be...
Reload, come on. Oh no. Okay, good shooting there, Benj. Okay. Okay. Let's get out of here.
Everyone accounted for. Perfect.
Okay, I gotta go then. I'm gonna... Okay, that's it? Okay, we got out then. Ooh. Hello, the professional, everyone. I haven't done the Cayo Perico heist yet. I had to start all over again in GTA Online. Hope you and everyone here are having a good day. Thank you, Aussie guy. Thanks, man. Thank you for the super chat. And thank you, Unknown, for that super chat earlier. Oh, hey, RPG gameplay. Yeah, that's what I say. The housing market in, like, California and, like, New York and places like that, it's just outrageous. I think there's more affordable properties, like, you know, in other states, you know, to buy and to rent. When's Destroy All Humans 2? Very soon. I'll have another part. Okay. I also got another Modern Warfare video coming out for you guys tonight. Okay. Highway of Death and the The Russian invasion of Urzikstan is what the next missions. Stupidest GTA character of all time, Ashley in Lost and Damned. Some of the missions you can do solo, like that Cayo Perico heist you can do solo, yeah. I heard that the thumbs up thing is now offensive, yeah. Do I prefer a tiny house or a mobile home? I just prefer a tiny house. I prefer something that's more in the ground than a mobile home. Got some tips on working in retail. I would say don't spend too long there. Always look for other opportunities. Like, I personally would be doing DoorDash and Uber Eats instead of doing retail. But I would say retail helps you build people skills, which it's it's good for that, definitely. That is I would say that's a plus. Ow. I want to try to jump over the bush, but now I'm tripping over I don't even know what. I'm tripping constantly, okay. But also know when to stand up for yourself. I would say it's another thing about retail, because I didn't know how to stand up for myself when I worked in retail, and people constantly took advantage of me. Yeah, I never understood this GTA 5's physics, and Red Dead Redemption 2 also does this. Like the stupidest slopes, like you'll constantly fall and fall and fall and fall, and it gets annoying. I wanted to try to jump on the wall, and then from the wall I wanted to jump in the pool, but this pathway here, I could walk over that in real life. Okay, why is this okay, here I would say it's a little bit easier, but why does he trip here? This is just okay, this is stupid. There's no reason he should be tripping here. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get over the thing and then jump in the pool from this. Yeah, you have to learn to stick up for yourself, because people will take advantage of you in retail. Well, a lot of other jobs, but did they fix the terabyte computer being locked out in invite-only sessions? Nope, still haven't fixed it. Months later.
No fucking way.
But I guess I will be I'll probably be wrapping up the stream here, guys. I'll still stick around for a few minutes and answer any questions that people might have. So if you guys want to ask me anything before I go, you're more than welcome to. If you enjoyed the stream, please drop a like. If you like the stream, please drop a like. It does help the stream. It does help the stream a lot. Taxi driver is a risky job. I heard horror stories about people running without paying, and even robberies. Yeah,
what was that?
it can be.
You're right,
Some
Angel.
taxis
I'm
have
sorry.
bulletproof glass though in the
Should I put my
in
KD
between
ratio on my
to prevent
resume?
that from happening though. But it's still, I would say, yeah, it's still a risky thing, because with a taxi anybody can get in. With an Uber ride you're more safe, because with an Uber ride you know who's riding with you. So Uber will know who is the passenger in that if they try to pull anything. But a taxi, you don't know who's getting in, and that's what's kind of scary about that. Thank you, Zag, for the super chat. How is thumbs up offensive? I don't know. People are just dumb. Oh yeah, Modern Warfare 2022 will definitely have a controversial mission. They almost always do. The Modern Warfare games, they almost always have a controversial mission. Did I read your full super chat? Let me see. Unknown. When did you make that super chat? Hang on a second. I'll look right now. The main character in Bully. What version am I gonna play? I'll probably play the whatever version is the best, the PS2 version. When's the next GTA lore video? Very soon. It'll be coming out in just, you know, just a matter of days. As long as I don't get a copyright claim, because I am doing, I have a part of the GTA San Andreas introduction in it, and I really hope that doesn't get copyright claim, because sometimes that does. What inspired your name to be professional? I don't know. Might be kind of like thought of like a, you know, kind of thought of like a bank robber character, or like, you know, somebody like that. I thought of, you know, I guess I play these games and sometimes I'm professional at them. Emulation, I think, is cool. Oh, Farah is already in the Modern Warfare 2 reboot. She's in there. Alex, I don't know. Alex and Hadir, I don't know if they'll appear, but Farah is. If Farah's there, I'm pretty sure Alex and Hadir will be back. Call of Duty 2019, give me an hour. In an hour, the video will be up. The next Call of Duty part. But I guess we'll be wrapping it up here. Who's worse, Dimitri from GTA 4 or Victor from Max Payne? Victor, because Victor killed his entire family, and Victor also, he had, he paid for, he was harvesting people's human organs, so Victor is, like, worse than Dimitri, I'd say, yeah. Import-export is good for solo. Yeah, I would say so. But I think Cayo Perico's even better for solo. Cut content in GTA 5. I don't really know much about that. What's more annoying, hearing Capitale or hearing Capitale or the Hookies mission? The Hookies mission, yeah. Well, if he got the chance, sure, Christopher, he would. But I guess I'll be going here, guys. The best horse in Red Dead Online, Black Arabian. I don't ignore you, Mole. There's just a lot of people that are posting. But I guess I'll be going here, guys. I'm gonna have a lore video very soon for you guys and some awesome content. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this stream. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.
Did you see that?